Hi, Flavia. How are
Hi,
you?
how are you? Are you
Really,
okay?
really good. Yeah, I'm good. It's so nice speaking to you through Mamahood
Oh,
Live. It's nice to come together and talk all
I
things
know, I
motherhood.
know. Especially with everything that's going on, isn't it? It's become the new normal now.
I know we're like forced into being stay-at-home mummies. It's it's a lot, right?
Literally,
Especially
the new
these
evolved
times.
role.
Yeah. How have you found sort of, dealing with parenting during lockdown and
Well,
looking
because
after
it's
your
like
baby?
my my first son, it was been like for me is I don't know any other way of like dealing with the situation. So it's literally been a first time mom, first time situation. So Matteo's 8 months now, like literally he turned 8 months like last week. I can't believe how quick time goes. And it's been all right. Like, the first few weeks of lockdown, it was just really weird because, of course, my husband used to work in the office. So now he's working from home. So I had to just adjust in sense of like, as a woman as well, I love having my own routine, my own little thing when I wake up with my baby. And then, we go for a walk, I tidy the house. But now, like, my husband's at home all the time. You just have to work around him. So it's messed up a bit of like, let's say like I was trying to do like a sleeping routine for Mateo, but that's just literally gone out the window. And I just understand that I just have to kind of be happy with how things are for now. And then
Yeah.
from there, what about you?
Yeah, it's been good actually. So my daughter's a bit older than Mateo, so she's 2.5.
Oh wow.
She'll be 3 in December, and I actually feel like, yeah, it's like I almost envy you in a sense because I'm looking back, thinking back to like when Lillian was 8 months old and how that was such a simpler time, put it this way. Like it's a lot harder when they can start communicating and they've developed their own personalities. They sort of which is kind of easier in a sense because I guess you've gone through the stage of having to guess what it is they want. So it's brilliant that she's that like that now, but it's also very hard because throughout this time it's just been me and her pretty much. My husband's been working, and it's like, having to, deal with everything she wants. So she's like, "Mummy, I want to eat now. I want to do this now. I want to play now. And why can't I go to nursery?" And I'm just a bit like, "Oh my God, it's exhausting." But it has its highs and lows. It's been great as well, sort of getting to know her because I guess without lockdown, because I mean, put it this way, I've had to stay at home with her for about 4 months, which is a long time. But if it wasn't for that, I would have just been busy working, only probably
Hmm.
getting the weekend with her,
Hmm.
only like I probably wouldn't have been able to accomplish so many things together. Like
Hmm.
one of the biggest challenges was that she was such a fan of like the dummy. I don't know if your boy uses a dummy at the
Yeah, he
minute,
uses
but
it on and off at the moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, but she was addicted to the dummy at night time. So like the dummy would be the thing that would put her to sleep. So,
Hmm.
and I remember thinking, right, we've got 4 months at home together. By the time you go back to nursery, I need you to stop with the dummy. I need you to have to know how to use the toilet. So there were these things that I thought, right, I'm going to make sure that I focus on with you, which was great. So I was able to sort of, I mean, it was hard, don't get me wrong, but it was great that I was able to do those things with her
You
and
had the
kind of
time
make
to
a,
do
yeah, we kind of made a game of it. It was really nice. I was kind of like, look, no more dummies now because you're a big girl, and dummies are for babies. And we've got friends who have got newborns, and we kept saying, let's collect the dummies in the house, put them in a bag, we'll drop them off at our friend's
it.
house, and you're going to get a nice
I'm
prize at
writing
the
this
end.
down.
And
I'm writing this
yeah,
down.
take note, take note.
Yeah.
So in a sense, that was really good. So now that she started back at nursery this week, and it's great because she's gone back to nursery. She's so proud. She's got her big girl's rucksack, and she's like, "I don't need the dummy. I don't, I don't need nappies." It's like it's great. So that feels nice that I've been able to actually spend those
Yeah.
time, that time with her and be able to accomplish something. Whereas without lockdown, I probably would have been like, right, nursery. It's up to you to kind of sort her out. It's up to you to make sure she's, doing all that. So it's nice that I've been
Hmm.
able to take control in that sense. But you've got it all to come.
That's what I was saying to my husband. Because I was telling to my husband, like, when are you ever gonna have like the opportunity to see Mateo grow. Like a lot of dads would like tend to go back to work after like 2 weeks, but we were able to literally parent Mateo like solidly all this time
Mm.
together, and it's just been really nice because now the relationship he has with Mateo is really strong, and
Mm.
we both have learned to study Mattel, like his cues, what he needs. And I feel like I really, really know my son. Like I really
Mm.
like within the first like few minutes of him wanting something, I feel like I'm confident enough to know what's up. So I'm just trying to look at the situation in a more positive way. Do you know what I mean? How was your
Yeah.
pregnancy with your little
Um, it was good actually. Like I didn't necessarily have a not so good pregnancy. Like I actually enjoyed it, and I sometimes think back and think, God, I wish I actually embraced it a bit more because I didn't tell a lot of people about my pregnancy for a long time. Like I was kind of working all throughout my pregnancy, and I work in TV as an actress, and I remember sort of thinking, all I was thinking is I don't want people to have to see my bump. So
Oh,
and this particular role that I was playing, my character wears a lot of like revealing clothes, like really sort of like hot pants and like bikini tops. And I remember thinking, I just want to cover it up. So I was just constantly hiding it. And it wasn't until I probably got to about 6 months ish that sort of I started telling my friends and my colleagues. I mean, even though half of them were like, I mean, we obviously knew because it was extremely obvious that you were pregnant. But for me, I think for me personally, I just didn't tell anyone because I don't know. I think it's just, it was just kind of my thing. I didn't really want to sort of like, I didn't really want to make a fuss of it. I didn't want people asking too many questions. I just wanted to sort of deal with it. And so it was quite nice. Like it was just sort of like me and my husband and my close knit friends and family. And then towards the end of pregnancy, that's when I started to sort of get a bit fed up. It was sort of like, okay, I'm over it now. And I just want this baby out because, it was like you just get tired. I was just really
no one
uncomfortable.
explained to you how like I'll say give or take the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks of pregnancy are like the longest months. I call them months of your life. I never knew
Mm.
how much impatient you get and how much you just want the baby.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know.
I want my
Yeah.
baby now. I want to hold my baby.
Yeah, yeah. It's so crazy, and it's also funny how like really sort of protective you get before the baby's even here. Like I remember feeling so like I started nesting straight away. I was like, right, we need to make sure this house is spotless. Like your baby's gonna come out and be like, I'm not being funny. There's a bit of dust over there. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's funny
I
how you
went
just become.
OCD crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, you do get like that. You do get like that.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
um,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my pregnancy.
yeah.
I really did. I really did. I did. With me, it was a bit of a like a. It's. I say it's a funny story, but because I'm a flight attendant. Like we tend to. I didn't really check or anything. I just thought I was like tired or was getting bloated. So I didn't officially find out I was pregnant until I was 14 weeks.
Oh
So
my
it was
gosh.
crazy. It was crazy. It was the shortest pregnancy. I was pregnant for like 6 months. Let's be honest. That's the way I see it. So yeah, so it took like when we found out, and me and my husband, we were in disbelief because he was literally like, no, and then the
Oh
lady
my
was like, I'm
God.
sure you're about 12 weeks pregnant. Can you not see your little bump? And I'm like, no, I'm just putting on weight. She's like, nah, trust me. And when they checked the heartbeat and everything, I thought, oh, okay, they'll give a take. They'll say I'll be due like February 2020. And then she checked it. She's like, oh, by the way, you're 14 weeks and 4 days pregnant and you're due on the 28th of November. I said, me and my husband, our faces dropped. Our faces dropped. I was like, what, this year? I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. So it was literally like trying to get everything together while trying to be mentally ready and everything. But in the end, I think I just embrace it. I mean, I love how now, like even on social media, so many women really embrace their pregnancy, like their bump, their journey. Like I feel like even culture-wise, sometimes it's a bit of like, oh, don't tell anyone at all till like the baby's here. And then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we tend to be a bit scared to like tell
Yeah,
people.
yeah, and I
I
think
love
that's
how
what I
now
was going
people,
through.
yeah.
I feel like that's personally how I a thought. Maybe kind of like I instantly thought
But it's
as
natural.
though,
It's natural.
yeah, like, oh, I better protect myself because it's kind of what my mum did and what my
Yeah,
relatives have done.
your
And it's
mom
like
and your
you just,
aunties.
yeah, it's like you don't tell anyone,
Yeah,
keep it to yourself. It's like, but you're right, you're right. It's beautiful to embrace it because it's like
I
you've got
love
a
seeing it
team.
now. I love seeing it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I like you at the end of the pregnancy. It was like, okay, I'm ready for my baby now. And I was due with Ara. I think I had like 5 months that were mums that were due the same time as me. And two of them were like due after me. And I was telling my husband, if they have the baby before me, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. And then one person texted and say, Flav, I had my baby. And she was due 2 days after me. I was crying that day. I was like, why? Oh God, what about me? What about my baby? But then I had my child like 2 days after, so it's not too bad.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
And what about your sort of favorite skincare? Did you sort of, were there any products that you used during pregnancy and stuff
yeah,
like?
I used Mama Mia a lot. I used a lot the Tommy Rob. I used that loads. I used there's got a shower jar shower like
Yeah.
cream that I've used, and even now I still even 8 months in I still use the nipple cream. I've used like probably one or two nipple creams, but their one is literally like my favorite. I think I like the smell and
Right.
the feel of it. But some of them tend to be really sticky, and then
Yeah.
you have to like stick the baby in straight away. So
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
all of their products, probably that's still my favorite till now.
Yeah. That's so good. Did you so did you breastfeed straight away?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't latch. We was in hospital for another 6 days because he was a bit unwell, yeah. So like the
Mhm.
first 2 3 days we didn't latch because I had loads of like things like like the drips cannula things. I
Yeah.
had loads of them, and it
Hmm.
was so sad to see he had loads of them as
Oh,
well. So we found it really hard to like when I was trying to
yeah.
breastfeed it was so hard to
Getting
try and get fine.
it.
But day five, we finally latched. So I literally hand express and cup fed him or bottle fed him until the fifth day. So I was
Oh,
that mom with like colostrum dripping down my top and everything, trying to feed this newborn, trying to figure it out. No one told me
oh,
how hard breastfeeding would be. Like you see ladies breastfeeding, like you see it in films, you see when you're in the park, and you think it's just a matter of putting the baby in and it works. But I never knew the work that goes behind it. Like now, I really
mm,
like going through it myself. I really respect moms even more because it's not
yeah.
easy.
But it's funny how I was so adamant that I wanted to breastfeed that when it wasn't working, I was putting so much pressure on myself, crying. I was like bleeding, and it was just so stressful.
Yeah,
Eventually, thankfully I had help. Like we got a support worker to come out, and she was amazing. She just massaged my boobs and sort of showed me the correct way to latch, and it was perfect
yeah.
after that. And then I was very thankful we did it for about a year and a half. Like
No, did
that was
you?
amazing, and it was so wonderful. Like I absolutely loved it because it was just mine and her way of bonding, and I really did enjoy it. And one day she just went, I don't want it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I better put them away then. I was like,
I'm gonna
cool.
cry that day
Right,
when it
thanks.
happens.
I know, because
I mean,
it's such a
uh,
beautiful thing.
what were the first few weeks like for you then when you had the baby?
First few weeks. Do you know what? It was nice. It was really nice. Because I actually wanted to sort of see nobody. Like I didn't really want anybody around. Like I remember sort of planning and saying to my family, look, I think I want to have the baby alone, just with my husband, and I don't want to see anybody for at least a week, at least a week or two, before we start seeing people, just because we kind of wanted to figure it out ourselves. Um, but unfortunately, it didn't really go that way because some people are keen to see the baby. So my mum was like, I need to come. And my partner's mum was like, I need to be there. And it was lovely in a way that because once they did come, I very much knew that I needed them to be here. And it was so handy that they were there because I was able sort of just to rest a little bit. But then it just became really difficult because of course we're adjusting to new life, and I was so hormonal, and like I said, it was like up and down. I experienced the baby blues where I was just crying and I didn't quite know why. And nobody really tells you. Like, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know why I was sad. Like, I just remember just kept feeling upset. And I was like, I've got nothing to be upset about. This is the greatest joy, of course. But
Mm.
then it's not until you speak to other mums and they go, but listen, it's extremely normal because you've been through something. Like, it's a lot. You've had to carry a human for 9 months, then push it out, and there's a whole new human being that you don't know. It's like it's that you're having to build that sort of bond and that relationship, and it is true. So it's like, so that's what I always sort of tell new mums. I always go, look, it's totally normal to totally feel as though you're in a bit of a new world. Like,
Roller
it's
coaster.
yeah, because it is a lot to deal with. But then it just clicks, and then you just literally think, this is the best thing that could ever happen to me.
Yeah.
So what about you? How did you find the first few
With
weeks?
me, I didn't expect I'd be the mom I am today. Like I just genuinely thought we wouldn't be ready to have kids for a while because we only got married. Well, we only been married for like just about 2 years. But with the same as you, the first when we first had the baby, because my family lives far anyway, and we didn't really want people around. We didn't have any visitors for, I'll say, until January. So that was like 2.5 months. We said
Wow.
nobody. Yeah, literally. I know it sounds really like really harsh, but it literally was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this baby. I just want to figure it out with my husband. And my husband
Yeah.
actually had 6 weeks off. He booked 6 weeks off. So we was alone, just me and him, trying to understand this baby. And then when we
Wow.
was ready to meet people, the coronavirus arrived. So it was like, so February time, we just started having our first few visitors, and then lockdown was March 18th. So a lot of people haven't seen Mattel. But the first few weeks was okay. Like it was just trying to figure it out. I'm not a person that cries, but since I've become a mom, I cry. I cry more than before, and
Yeah.
just you feel sometimes like you're rubbish, but it's not because you're rubbish. It's just because you put in so much. It's not even so much pressure. You just want to do your best with the baby. You just want to give the baby the best chance. So I remember pumping some breast releases. I would never have cried about this before a baby, but I remember pumping milk, and I think I was so proud of the amount I pumped, and I must have not put it on the table properly, and it all spilled and fell on the floor. And I just stared at it, and I just literally cried so much.
Yeah.
And I would never cry over something like this. But if moms understand what I went through to get that milk out,
Yeah.
you'd understand why I did. But yeah, I did that.
Mm.
Now I look back at it, like you said, I literally like, I love being a mom. Like everyone you see also on my platform, I love encouraging moms. I like to make mom feel like, even though yeah, I'm not saying it's not a hard job being a mom. I understand it. I'm living it myself as well, but it's such a rewarding role, and it's so much to be grateful about, especially when I see like there's a lot of women in this world that are trying to have babies or have had miscarriage or have lost babies, and it's just like I just always feel like humble that I've been able to experience it, because it's give or take. It's not everyone gets the chance. How
Yeah.
do you get
No,
to
you're right.
meet moms during this time, or how did you get to meet moms before? I guess because I don't know now
Um,
it's different, isn't it?
yeah, well, because I was probably maybe one of the first or second girls out of my actual friendship group to have a baby, like my friendship group from home, like where I grew up. So that wasn't easy in the sense I felt like I had to sort of meet new mum friends,
Okay.
and it was great because I sort of started making sort of mum friends just from like going to like children's centers and stuff, and like breastfeeding workshops and like things like that, and sort of meeting local mums then, and then you just sort of meet people. Like I've realized it's actually really easier to make friends as like a mum than it is without a baby. Like I sometimes would just be walking in the park and see another mum with her baby, and if the kids just start playing and are a similar age group, it's always nice because you know that you've been through something together and you instantly share that bond. So it's
Yeah.
always sort of nice. Like I've got so many like lovely mum friends sort of locally, which is nice. Um, and also some that you sort of go, actually, we probably could be friends anyway. It's not even just that we have a baby. It's like we definitely share similarities, and that's always nice. And I think it's, I remember once actually feeling so lonely and feeling so down, like one time, because all my friends, like a lot of my close friends, don't have kids. And I remember sort of just feeling a bit alone. And I remember being in a restaurant and seeing this other mum who worked there, but I knew she was a mum because I'd seen her son before. And I remember actually just saying to her, I know this sounds really forward, but can we just exchange numbers? She was
So,
like, yeah,
but mommy
sure. And
community is actually the
yeah,
nicest community ever. You'd
the nicest,
never
the
think that.
nicest. Yeah, it's so true. And now we're really close friends now. And I just remember thinking, like, I'm so glad I shot my shot when I needed to, because I needed to have
You're so
I needed
girl.
to have literally, I was like, no one's getting in between, because I just needed to have somebody that I felt like I could relate to. Like I was like, she looks cool. She looks like we could be on the similar age group, same vibe. And it's nice to sort of sometimes reach out to people, because there are some things that maybe your friends without kids might not understand.
They don't understand.
And
And it's not their fault. I always tell them
yeah,
that I generally know that it's not your fault. Like once you go through it, you probably come back to me and be like, oh, Flav, like now I get it. Like I still do that
yeah,
to some of my friends with babies. Like I'll message and be like, I understand what you
that's
meant
me.
that day. And I'll be like,
Mm.
I'm so sorry, like I didn't understand before. But yeah,
Yeah.
when I didn't have a baby, when I was pregnant, basically, I was like, oh, like it's basically with my friends, friendship is different. So a lot of my friends have had babies. Their babies are like 5, 6, so they're quite big. And my other side, they have no babies. So I was like in the middle, and I thought, oh, when I have Mattel, he's not gonna have any friends. I don't know anyone that's gonna be pregnant. But you tend to, when you become a mom, they gravitate. Those kind of people will gravitate to you. You will meet moms as you go along
Mm,
in your journey. So definitely, I don't feel lonely in the sense that
mm,
now new moms, even on Instagram, like new moms will come to me and be like,
mm.
"Oh, this is such a good tip, thank you." And then I'll see something
Yeah.
on theirs, and then before we know it, we're actually like really good friends. As in, I can text
Mm.
at like 3 a.m. during the 3 a.m. feed, and you're awake with me. Like, how amazing is that? And it's just like, wow, maybe your husband's sleeping, you staring at him sleeping away, and you think, oh, who can I
Yeah.
talk to? One mom is always awake at some point.
At
So
some
yeah.
point. It's so true. And how do you take time out for yourself as a new mum? Like, what do you sort of do?
Um, I do try to make it. I don't know because sorry, I'm Italian, so I'm trying to think of the right word in English. But I do try to make it. I do try to make my point, even with my husband, whoever that's how I advise other people, whoever you live with, that I want an hour today. Like you have to literally take the time, because you're a mom, the time is not literally like give it to you willy nilly. So it's literally like, for example, today I was like, I need an hour this morning because I want to have a shower. I want to do a mask. I want to do it. Oh, blah blah. No, I'm having my hour and that's it. So I make sure I take time out before, because the way I see it, you can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah, and when I get drained or I get like stressed, like Matteo is very aggy or very like agitated or not himself. And when I'm cool and I'm calm and I've taken care of myself, like I have like I know it sounds like I literally have the perfect baby because he sees that
Yeah,
I'm content. So I try. I
yeah.
mean, at the beginning, what was first was maybe just like a 5 minute shower, but that was enough for me at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? But as he
Hmm.
grows older, now I can maybe once a month go and get my nails done, or I can't go. Like this Sunday, I went out with for dinner with my friends, which was the first time after lockdown as well, and it was the first time probably in months. But I made it my aim to set everything up and ask my husband, I just need 3 hours, 3 hours to go out, have
Yeah,
dinner, dress, and come back. And when I came back, yes, I missed my baby, but it felt good to have done something for myself. What about
yeah.
you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You're right. Like self-care for me is so important. And I say it a lot to mums, to people all the time. It's like you don't realize how important it is. I've got friends all over who sort of rarely give time to themselves, and they might feel a bit like guilty for leaving their baby. And I'm like, but listen, mum guilt is so real. Yes, like I remember once leaving
Real.
my baby. I remember leaving my baby and my husband for a weekend, just for 2 nights to go to London, and I came back to Liverpool on the train in tears because I felt so bad for doing that. And I just remember thinking, like, at the time it was horrible, but when I came back, they were totally fine. It's like, oh, okay. And it's almost like once you get over that first hurdle of sort of having you time, you start to realize that it is totally normal because, like you said, once you do all that for yourself, your baby will feed off of that, and your baby will can vibe that you need your time. And sometimes people often don't take care of themselves, they don't focus on themselves, so then it's harder because then they might feel a bit stressed and a bit frustrated, and then they're taking it out on their baby, or they might sort
Yeah,
of like
100%.
end up, resenting their baby for that. And it's like, well, no, it's, if you can get a sitter, or if somebody's willing to take your baby for a couple of hours, like, do it. And now me and my husband we have that rule within our relationship. We're very much like, okay, for a week I'm going to go and spend time at a friend's or in a hotel or something. I'm going to see some friends. You stay at home with the baby for a week, and we actually take turns in doing that
That's good.
every other month or so. And it's so healthy for us, and it's so normal. It might not be a week, sometimes it's a night or even just a weekend, but it's just so important for us to have that because I say it all the time, like, you were a woman before you were a mum, and I feel like sometimes people forget that, and it's so important to remember that, within your motherhood, your womanhood still stands, and you can
Yeah.
do whatever you need to make you happy. And I think that's so important. So, if that means going off for a weekend with your friends and twerking in a club and drinking some gin, like,
Can't wait for
live
that
your
again.
life.
I need
Yeah,
that.
it's exactly like mum's gone wild. So so it's amazing. Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
think it's just healthy. Yeah.
And like you said as well before, like happy mom, happy baby, like that is so true. Because the baby just feeds off your energy, feeds off your vibe. And I think that's why, like, me and Mattel's relationship is good, because I don't like view him as something that's holding me back, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't view him as something that came while I was trying to do something else. And even now, with some of my goals and some of the things I'm looking forward to, I'm probably more motivated now, because it's like, I've got a
Yeah.
son, I cannot sleep any longer, I can't sleep on myself, I really have to get going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
you're
just helped
right.
me not to be lazy, because it's like,
Yeah.
I've got a baby now, I cannot be lazy anymore.
You're so, yeah, do you know what? You're so right. It's like, so when I hear like some of my friends saying things like, "Oh, I really do want kids, but I'm not yet because I want to do so much." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you can do it." And like, and when they say, I really want to go on holidays," I'm like, "Listen, it's free holidays before they're 2 years old, so embrace that. Take them with you." It's like, you can do whatever you want. Like, my daughter motivates me so much more. I remember for ages I really wanted to go to LA, like, just to go out there and explore. And I said to my husband, I said, "Oh gosh, I really wanted to go to LA this year." And he was like, "Well, listen, we can still go." And we went, and we took her with us, and
Yeah, that's
it was
amazing.
honestly so amazing. And it's like you're right. Instead of seeing them as a burden or that they're
Yeah.
holding you back, they give you the drive to just go, "I'm going to show you what it's like to be a strong, independent person, to just sort of go out and get it." And they will grow to see that. And instead of you having to adapt to their lifestyle, they'll have to adapt to yours, and they'll be none the wiser. And I think that is so, for me, that is so healthy and so important. So
Um,
yeah, I think you're doing a great job. And
Thank
you're
you.
you're 8 months in, and you're smashing it. So when it's his first birthday, remember to celebrate that for yourself as well, because I remember just
Oh,
thinking,
okay.
this is one year of motherhood, and I've done a pretty good job. So yeah,
Baby's
just
alive
enjoy it,
still.
honestly.
Baby's eating. All right. It's been so
um
nice to talk
yeah.
to you, honestly. It's great to be part of
You
it's
too.
been great to be part of the motherhood life today, because I needed this. I needed to catch up with a mom, just to chat, and it's good. It's good.
It is really good. Yeah, so I hope you have a lovely day. And
And you
yeah, it's so
too.
nice
You
talking to
too.
you.
We'll catch up anyway.
Yeah,
Bye.
definitely. Take care. See you later.